By the time Alexander III of Scotland was 42 years old, every single member of his immediate family had died. He had married Princess Margaret of England when he was 10, and she was 11. They ended up having 3 children together: Margaret, Alexander, and David. His wife ended up passing away at the age of 34. Then within the span of a few years, all 3 of their children had also died. The only surviving possible heir to the throne of Scotland was now a baby girl from his eldest daughter who was living in Norway. The thought of Scotland having a female as the heir presumptive caused anxiety in many. Alexander decided to marry again. The idea was he was still strong, young, and with a suitable wife, able to conceive more heirs. He chose a girl named Yolande, who was the daughter of a very powerful French noble family, and 22. On the 19th of March, 1286, Alexander had been at Edinburgh Castle at a council with his lords. The council met and were discussing how to get the release of a Scottish baron out of an English prison. The Grand Council had finished their business for the day, and Alexander decided he wanted to go home to be with his new wife. It also just happened to be Yolande's birthday the next day. Yolande was in Kinghorn, and the weather was already quite bad, with gale winds beginning to pick up. Alexander's nobles tried to urge Alexander not to leave, as the weather would be too difficult to travel, and to stay in Edinburgh. He decided to ignore their advice and to set off on the journey. When Alexander reached the ferry with his horse, the ferryman refused to take the king across the water with the storm coming in. Alexander angrily called the ferryman a coward and forced him to take the king across the water. Upon reaching the other side, Alexander was again asked not to continue any further. Neither the dark nor the storm would deter Alexander, and he went on. There is no eyewitness of what happened next. It is believed that Alexander's horse slipped and threw the king to the ground. Some believe he and the horse fell off a cliff. Alexander was found near the shore the next morning with his neck broken. King Alexander III was buried in Dunfermline Abbey, where his 2 sons had also been previously laid to rest.